Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I've said it once, I've said it 100,000 times. I love the off-season more than in-season. Why, you ask? Well, I'll tell you. Everything's not measured by wins and losses. And around here, certainly a good thing after what the Jaguars did a season ago at 13-4. Of course, my alma mater sucks. But that's another story for another day. I absolutely will not begin this week on a negative. The next 3 days are huge. 17 mandatory minicamps around the NFL going on this week over at the Miller Electric Center tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let's get it on. And this is going to be spectacular. I am fired up. I already have arranged things to talk with Emmanuel Pregnon after tomorrow's workout, a guy that many believe is going to bust off an incumbent here. Is he going to come right in and win a guard job? I find it hard to believe this early in the NFL season simply because they don't hit. You can win skill position jobs. I think it's hard to win it at the line of scrimmage because the CBA, they flex their muscles. Finally, after decades and decades and decades and decades, there's some strength in the National Football League Players Association. Forever now, we've had no 2 days. Forever now, we're not hitting. All right, you're still going to get that off day on Tuesday. That's good news. Players deserve it. But I also think it's hard to move in, especially if there's not an injury, and win a job on the offensive and defensive line. All right, it's going to be a great week. It absolutely is. You know, after these 3 days, and you got about, 5 weeks off until training camp actually gets underway. That'll include yours truly making the pilgrimage back home to Boston on Saturday. And then right before the start of minicamp, I'm not sure where we're going. It's someplace tropical. And anyway, that's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun with my oldest daughter and my girlfriend's granddaughter going with us. But that's way down the road because instead the focus is beginning tomorrow. And when you look at the Jaguars, right, there's a lot of storylines, but they really pale in comparison to a season ago. Most of the so-called experts out there will say Jacksonville is not higher ranked when it comes to wins and losses and the total out of Las Vegas or the perception of winning the AFC South based on a couple of reasons, right? Number one, they didn't add any starters. They lost Devin Lloyd. They lost Travis Etienne. They haven't replaced them with any starters. They also reached in a lot of situations, many do believe, in the NFL draft, that consensus board. I don't think I've gone through it even as of yet, even though it's been out forever. I may get to it today. I may get to it tomorrow. I may not. We shall see. But as we know, we're not going to be able to really find any of that out for at least a couple of seasons unless there's something that's really good and that a rookie or two or three stand up and come in and make a difference right out of the gate. I find that hard to believe. But nonetheless, we will see. So that's a big storyline. Camp competition for me is always going to be among the biggest storylines in training camp. And, you know, we saw some battles that were won a year ago. You can go back to the Lloyd Ventrell Miller situation. You can go to the offensive line. I'm old enough to remember that throughout camp, and this is another reason why you can't overdo it, in my opinion, when it comes to the line of scrimmage. Remember Chuma Edoga a year ago? Remember how he appeared to be arguably the best offensive lineman during training camp? Then it just went away. You got to your opening day, and you came out with your starting 5 offensive linemen, and he was not there. And when he got an opportunity, frankly, it was not a great season overall for Chuma Edoga. But the offensive line, to me, is going to be fascinating. I don't really believe that outside of that, there's really much competition on offense. I mean, this has been a big blow for Chris Rodriguez. There's no other way to say it. We haven't seen him. He hasn't been spotted. There's plenty of rumors, but I'm not going to go there. It's not necessary for me at this particular time to go anywhere near that direction. Tootin has taken advantage of it. I think Allen has taken advantage of it. But really, for the most part, you're going to have two guys at running back anyway. This is almost like a hockey shift in some circles when you look at running backs. Go with the hot hand, you hope, not just a simple rotation that he gets the first series, he gets the second series, then you switch, give someone else the third series. So we know a year ago, by really an overwhelming number, it was actually LaQuint Allen Jr., who was out there for most of the third down snaps as a rookie. Is there an everyday back on this roster, an every down back on this roster? So I think that's pretty intriguing. The only thing with the wide receivers, a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of 13 personnel coming up this year for the Jaguars. They have made it blatantly obvious that they want to tighten up and be able to run the football. Who comes out first? I think you would say Brian Thomas Jr., right? That makes the most sense. Sit him down, go to Parker Washington, go to Jacoby Myers. Well, you're going to have to convince him that that's the deal. Is he willing to block? And, you get to so many things with Brian Thomas Jr., and that included him being really beaten up a year ago. I don't think that gets enough attention. The fact that he had an ankle, that he had a shoulder. We talk about the obvious injuries, and I'm going to get there momentarily. But I think you have to take into consideration what he was like on offense and what Trayvon Walker was like on defense. Now, Walker told us last week that his knee is 100% and that the wrist is absolutely improving, almost to the point that he'll be able to fully grasp once again and hopefully take him back to the way he played in 2024. But I think that gets lost in the shuffle a little bit. It seems like when we talk about Brian Thomas Jr., he was gun shy. He was afraid to go over the middle. Is it because he got blown up in that preseason game against the Pittsburgh Steelers? Was there something else behind the scenes that we're not aware of to this day? I'm still not aware of anything along those lines. So anyway, that's going to be fascinating. Defensively, I think it's all rotation. I think they're set with their starting defense. I really believe that. Who the third edge is going to be is intriguing. Who's going to take some snaps on the interior defensive line is intriguing. It's Ventrell Miller's job to lose, right? Travis Hunter, more snaps this year. In the secondary, he is a starter. Could you have a turnover at safety by week one? Could Eric Murray lose his job to Caleb Ransaw in week one? Find it very hard to believe. I do. I'm not saying that won't be the case 2, 3, 4 weeks into the season, but initially, and even 2 weeks would be way too soon. And of course, I say this under the assumption that no one is injured and no one is going to get injured. That's another storyline here. For the most part, Jacksonville is about where they expect to be with injuries. Hunter appears to be better than what he's doing, if you understand what I'm getting at there. He's jumping all over the place. He's knocking his head in, listening to the offensive call, breaking with the team, lining up by himself. I mean, he's so infectious. He's so involved. A lot of injured guys just kind of hover on the sideline, drink a Gatorade, and, kind of pass the time. Not Travis Hunter. And again, he's supposed to be full go in 5 weeks by the time training camp gets underway in July, late July. I have no feeling on Jordan Lewis. I just don't. I see him on the sideline, but I really don't know how to comment anymore at this particular time on him. And we know that Jerrion Jones can certainly play the nickel. Jordan Lewis, we'll see. Again, I just don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it with Cole Van Lannon. That appears to be disturbing. That could be a lot more serious than perhaps we thought when he went down against Tennessee and was unable to play against Buffalo in the playoffs. They paid this guy $51 million. We heard from Anton Harrison last week. Liam Cohen talked about it. He wants to be the right tackle. He's not going to the left side. It's been Walker Little working there. Is Cole Van Lannon going to be able to get back into shape health-wise and be ready for the opener against Cleveland? Caleb Ransaw certainly ahead of where he is supposed to be, and that's encouraging. Again, he needs rep after rep after rep after rep. He's never played safety. He did so at the Senior Bowl and got injured way too soon a season ago. So there you are. Those are the storylines. Camp competition, health. I think a lot of this will be about advancement as a football team as far as the chemistry, as far as the scheme, especially on offense, what they're able to add on a week-to-week basis. I talked with Antonio Johnson last week, just how comfortable he feels about playing under the same system. I mean, every year for these guys, you're changing up your offensive coordinator, you're changing up your defensive coordinator, or at least you're changing up the play caller on offense. And, you know, as a full-time job, this is taxing. I think one of the great stories that the national media keeps on missing when they give their opinion on what's going on with the Jaguars is that they were able to retain both Grant Udinski and Anthony Campanelli. To me, that is massive. Okay, final part of all this. That's salaries. That's contract extensions. I don't think this team is in danger of anyone holding out. Okay, this isn't a Jacoby Brissett situation, who apparently is going to report this week in Arizona, even though he's underpaid, grossly underpaid. I mean, he's only got $1.5 million guaranteed. Can you imagine that? Being a starting quarterback who's been in the league for more than 10 years, and that's all that he is worth right now. We kind of get the feeling that he's just holding on to the job and that he's eventually going to give it up. But nonetheless, that is a big deal. I think the contract situation really only comes into play here for Parker Washington. I believe he's next. I think it's going to happen with Brenton Strange. I don't know what's going to happen with Antonio Johnson. I don't know what's going to happen with Devon Hamilton. And I tend to believe that they're going to move on without Ezra Cleveland, okay? But the contracts that were dished out last week to wide receivers are absolutely petrifying. Parker's going to get his, and I want to see it. But an average of $27.6 million a year for Christian Watson? Are you kidding me? What is Parker going to make? I've always thought 16 and a half, 17, 17 and a half, 18, somewhere in that range. You got a guy who's got similar numbers who just put down 27.6 a year. So that's going to be something big. And for the record, I happen to think it gets done before training camp officially does get underway. All right, let's get things started. Tonight's show and every night brought to you by the good folks over at Shmunez Vision. Needs and wants in life, as we know. A want should be laser eye surgery in 2020 for the rest of your days. Imagine never having to deal with contacts. Imagine never having to go look for your readers. Visit the best. Not only with the good folks at Shmunez Vision, Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, and Dr. John Hunt will they examine you, but they'll answer all your questions, and they're also the three doctors who will provide surgery. For all the details, just go online to Shmunez Vision. You can also check them out on Instagram at Shmunez Vision as well. All right, we are absolutely jam-packed. This is a big week in the city. Any Jaguars question is good. Anything you can think of, two ways to join us right out of the gate. Text line, 641-1010, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. And as well tonight on YouTube, go to 1010XL into the night.
Dan Hicken,
Last night he's swimming in Jack Daniels, so now he can lead tall buildings in a single bound.
Jeff Prosser.
What if this is as good as it gets?
They are the Drill.
We call it the place to be. The place to be.
Mornings on 1010XL.
All right, Rick Ballou here. DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Florida. The whole world is watching. One tournament right now, the group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time, heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Florida. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you are in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Florida, the world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers, sign up with the code 1010XL, spend $5 and get $200 in total rewards. The code is 1010XL. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim issued is non-withdrawable. Predictions, dollars that expire in 1 year, ends June 28th. Terms, dkng.co/predictions promo.
Homeowners, is your home storm ready? Now during the storm season sale at Renewal by Anderson, you buy one window or door and get one 40% off. Plus, no money down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. There's never been a better time to protect your home before the next storm. But this offer ends June 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, johnautomotivejacks.com.
Listening that fits your schedule perfectly.
Absolutely brilliant.
Go on demand.
Ad-free shows after the live shows end.
How about that?
Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Frank Frangie here with Coach Delaney from Coyle Fencing. For years, your offenses have been putting up a lot of yards and points at Fletcher. I hear Coyle also gains a lot of yards in the fence world.
Yes, Frank. Coyle Fencing has been serving the Jacksonville community and general contractors for 99 years. We fence tens of thousands of commercial and residential yards, all while maintaining an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau.
99 years?
That's right. Some might call it a dynasty.
To schedule your appointment, visit CoyleJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com.
Hicken here, or maybe you should call me Dreamfinders Danny. Look what Dreamfinders is doing again, an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Weight loss gets a lot easier when you stop guessing. Reclaim by Awaken 180. 10 weeks, a real target, finish line, and most importantly, results. Medication-free and free support for life at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, Tony here from Tony D's New York Pizza. No time for lunch? I get it. Walk in, check out our lunch specials, and you're back out in minutes. Fast, hot, fresh, and ready to go. Tony D's New York Pizza. Quick, easy, and always fresh. Bay Meadows and $2.95.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hi, the show is brought to you by Miller Electric. I'll tell you all about them in just a couple of minutes. But I'm fired up to be out there first thing in the morning. Gonna have a major effect on my beauty sleep. That's all right. And kind of like hockey players, just go home and take a nap. That's a beautiful thing to do. But bright and early tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, really fired up for these 3 days. It's going to be a great week. And then before you know it, it'll be training camp. I mean, this is haunting to me that the summer is nearly over. I mean, JJ, it was another golf and beach weekend surrounded by some phenomenal sporting events. Can we stop time for a little bit? You know, at least that's what I would hope that we could do.
Especially with my Braves, the way they're playing. Stop
Right.
the count, as they say. Let's end it right now.
Teams that were really hot early. I mean, look at the Mets. They were terrible. Then they won some games. And they lost like 10 in a row.
They're
or 10
only
of them.
like 6 out now, the wild card. The Phillies had to fire their manager.
Yeah.
Now to me, they're like the second best team in baseball right now.
Right. And, you know, they put the interim on Don Mattingly. He's totally turned things around. Kind of like the Las Vegas Golden Knights put the interim on John Tortorella. And what are they now? 20-5-1 offhand, somewhere in that neck of the woods since he became the coach. Once again, I thought it was a disaster by the NBA not to play on Sunday. Instead, game 3 tonight. They get the extra day to travel, and I get it, but take advantage of that Sunday window. Instead, all sorts of security tonight. The President of the United States will be there, so they've enhanced a ton of security and tickets for this game. Like the starting price is like $6,600, and I've seen it get as high as like $40,000 to see a basketball game. No way. There's absolutely no way I would pay to see that. For what it's worth tonight, New York favored by 1.5, total 216 and a hook. And, of course, the Knicks able to win both games on the road in San Antonio. They did take game 1 and game 2. All right, there's a lot I want to do, and I'm getting some really good questions that are coming in. I'm going to get to you, including the 0981 saying that was one of the most entertaining hockey games he's ever seen. It was we're so quick nowadays to want the best ever, the greatest, and I don't know where that all started. It's really hard and always has been for me to compare one generation to another, really in any sport. I mean, take football, for instance. How can you take the NFL when it was 12 games or when it was 14 games and when it was a running league? When I grew up, the best players were running backs. They were. Walter Payton, Earl Campbell, right? O.J. Simpson, Lydell Mitchell, Larry Zonka. I mean, it just goes on. Chuck Foreman, Joe Cribbs, just one after the other. Sam the Bam Cunningham. They were great running backs. Franco Harris, Tony Dorsett. The list goes on and on and on. There were some good quarterbacks, but certainly that got away, and it became a passing first league. I don't think you can compare the 12 or 14 game schedule against a 16 game or 17 game schedule, and certainly look at the way that the game has changed, including just flat out on the field assault. Go back and watch the video of what you used to be able to do to the quarterback, about what you used to be able to do to the wide receivers and tight ends before, during, and as they were completing their route, if the ball was being thrown to them. That side of the game has changed. Yet, we find ourselves in that situation anyway. The hockey game on Saturday night was just absolutely nuts. I mean, it was out of control. It's comparable to the comeback in the Doak, the choke at Doak. It's comparable to 31-3. It's comparable to the Red Sox being one strike away from winning the World Series in 1986 before they allowed 3 straight hits, a wild pitch, and a bouncing ball up the first base line that made it through Bill Buckner's legs. I mean, this game was 4-0. And then 3 goals in less than 1 minute, tie it up, go to overtime, double overtime, and the freak goal. The difference, this series has been out of this world. Unfortunately, I got to wait till tomorrow night for that. My brain is conditioned to watch that game tonight. But that is not going to be the case. All right. I'm actually going to do something that is a little bit rare around here, but I'm working on it very, very diligently. Okay. That's hitting brakes on time. All right. I'm going to try to do that at night. Didn't I tell you a couple months ago that I was going to try to do that? I do my best. It's just, listen, there's so much good stuff out there. There's so many things to discuss that it's very easy to be long-winded.
I've been proud of you.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I've been giving I had a celebration for myself on the golf course.
Good.
The cart girl pulled up, and they're like, what do you guys want to celebrate? And I'd like to celebrate myself for hitting brakes within
Shots
5 minutes.
Me.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun. Man, fireballs on the golf course are almost overrated. We got to come up with a better... I love a fireball, just like everyone else, but in the midst of playing around, I kind of need a better shot. Maybe I'll ask you for that tonight. I know a lot of golfers go with the transfusions. I'm not talking about a cocktail. I'm talking about a shot. Okay? If you can help us out with that, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Let me tell you this, Miller Electric, for more than 96 years, they've been right here in Jacksonville. They are consistently acknowledged as one of the top companies right here. And no matter where you go in the city, what do you say? Building, 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 building. Everyone wants to move to Jacksonville. Miller Electric, they have their fingers all over it, no matter what it is that you see that is being built. And they are hiring right now, all sorts of different positions. You could be a current electrician who feels that you're undervalued, underpaid. Go to millercareers.com. You could be a youngster, boy or girl. College isn't for you. You tried college. You can't afford it. You're looking for a trade. What about being a electrician? Miller Careers. Maybe a change in your career. You're doing something right now and it's a dead end. You're not really getting anywhere with it. Go to Miller Careers and get all of the information. Top pay, best benefits, an unbelievable culture. People over there actually do care about one another. I know so many employees at Miller Electric. I think it's one of the great companies right here in our city. So to get all the details, let's go to Miller Careers. That is Miller Careers.
School's out for summer. More time for 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
David Garrard here, and once again, I'm reporting good news about how good my knees are doing following PRP treatment at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. For an old quarterback like me, my knees are in great shape.
You don't have to be a celebrity or a professional athlete to appreciate the everyday personal attention you'll receive at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. For any orthopedic need, call on the pros at SOS.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Prosser here. The world's biggest soccer tournament has arrived, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi. On Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. Let's give a look at the World Cup winner. USA is trading at 1.5% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade would pay out around $6,600 if they win soccer's biggest prize. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. As the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, Download the Kalshi app and use code 1010XL to get $10 when you trade 10 Kalshi Kalshi dollars. Trade the beautiful game, 18 and over only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see Kalshi.com/regulatory.
If you own or manage a commercial property or HOA, one backup can quickly turn into a flooded parking lot and costly damage. Duck Rooter's VACCon team brings the equipment and experience to get the job done right. Right now, get $250 off VACCon service and make sure your storm drains are ready for heavy rain. Keep water moving where it should, away from your property.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars back at it tomorrow morning, Wednesday and Thursday. Then they'll wrap it up until training camp. Enjoy your summer, kids. It's coming to an end. For some of us, sooner than later. But once training camp gets underway, and that's all she wrote. And I'll be fine once it gets here. I'm not one of those who can't wait for it to get here. I hate that expression. But once it does come around, I'll be as fired up as you. Still want to enjoy the off season. Hey, I'm old enough to remember Brian Bosworth getting thrown out of Oklahoma, being ineligible and having to enter the NFL supplemental draft. I remember Reggie Bush having the Heisman taken away. I remember Peter Warrick losing a Heisman and missing a few games with a suspension because he got a bargain on some clothes over at Dillard's, along with one of our finest now, one of Jacksonville's police officers in Lavernius Coles. Great man. Last time I saw Lavernius, he was spinning records over at Aromas, but he's now part of the force. And congratulations there to Lavernius Coles, who, remember, came in as a running back. I always say, oh, Peter Warrick, Randy Moss, Lavernius Coles, those wide receivers. He came in with Vanez Gooch as a running back, made that move to wide receiver a little bit later on in his career. So anyway, I remember all this stuff. And then you enter Brandon Sorsby, which is a big story right now nationally. I don't think it's getting the love around here or the attention around here simply because it's not the SEC. I'm surprised it's not the SEC. But this is almost laughable. I mean, honestly, it is. To be granted a temporary injunction against the NCAA from a judge in Lubbock, Texas, screams so many things. Number one, it's hilarious that the judge, Ken Curry, and I have to check on this. I believe he's a Texas Tech grad. I don't know that for sure. He's going to miss a couple of games, but he's allowed back in. Just think of the significance of betting on sports and what it's done, especially in baseball. The Black Sox keeping Joe Jackson, shoo Joe out of the Hall of Fame, and there was never any proof that he actually bet on or against his team in the World Series. Want to say he hit like 360. Of course, now the late Pete Rose never got into the Hall of Fame. And it's amazing to me how in baseball, if you take steroids or you bet on the game, I mean, you're basically silenced for the rest of your life. You get to the wild, wild west now of the game of college football, and you can basically do whatever it is that you want with absolutely zero cost. He bet while he was on Indiana, and he bet on Indiana. The way everything has changed, there's a part of me that's kind of happy that this is happening, because once again, it does show that the NCAA has no teeth. The NCAA has no power. The NCAA is going to continuously scream about the fact that they are underfunded, that they are understaffed, but they don't know how to govern the game. They've never been able to govern the game. This is another example of needing a true leader in the sport, a commissioner in the sport. The next 16 to 24 months are going to be enormous in the overall landscape of college football, including what's going to happen with these conferences, including what's going to happen with same rules and whether or not that bipartisan bill does pass now in Congress. I happen to be one of those who believes there's more important things that should be going on right now involved with Congress when it comes to helping our country, not whether or not you should have different rules in different states or different rules for different conferences or whatever it's going to end up being college football related. But that's where we're headed. And this is just another big part of it. But yeah, I really think Texas Tech now, they have a chance to be this year's Indiana. They have a chance in that conference to go on a hell of a run and go deep into the playoffs. We'll see. He's going to have to miss Abilene Christian and Oregon State. Then he's eligible once the Big 12 schedule actually does get underway. 60-65, Ballou, you can afford $40,000 for a ticket. Just get a couple for me and you. Maybe your GF could use one. She could drive us around. Then I'm thinking of taking this. Ooh, you dropped a word that I think is allowed on radio, but it would take us back about 50, 60 years. And I don't feel like getting canceled on a Monday. But you're thinking about taking her. Okay. So probably 4 ticks, the max. No, not going to happen. 80 grand, what, 160 grand? Can you imagine spending $40,000 for a ticket? I wouldn't spend $40,000 on anything that is entertainment. Even if you could go into a time machine and go back to a certain event, $40,000, and what would that event be? For me, I find myself probably picking a boxing match, honestly. Maybe the Thriller in Manila or something. Game 4 of the 1970 Stanley Cup Final would be pretty cool when Bobby Orr scored in overtime to beat the St. Louis Blues. But outside of that, I don't know where I would end up going. 40 grand is absolutely obscene. Ballou, try 3822. Try the Pink Whitney shot. Not familiar with a Pink Whitney. Apparently, it's vodka and flavor-based vodka. Born in Amsterdam, and I guess Spit and Chicklets, a pretty good hockey podcast. I guess they're the official sponsor of it. But let's see how you can make it. Pink lemonade flavored vodka, natural sweet tart balance makes it perfect. The perfect base for fast candy flavored party shots. Yeah, I'm looking for a new one on the golf course. I don't do a lot of shots on the golf course. It's never my recommendation. It's always in the group that I am with. And, I was looking at it was like Crown. It was some other whiskeys. And I love whiskey like that, but just not when I'm out sweating, man. It's out 90 degrees and, you need something a little bit easier. I was considering tequila, but man, the problem with me and tequila is I can never have just one. You know that feeling when it goes down, it hits the gut, and then like 10 seconds later, it starts to burn the gut. And then about a minute later, you're like, man, that was so good. I need another. So that's why I tend to stay away from tequila. But getting a few that are rolling in, if you would like to add to that, you can. The 9247 says, I hope they boo the hell out of Trumpty Dumpty at the game tonight. Well, here's what I got for you. Open your window, take your hands and cup them like Rocky, okay? Yelling for Adrian. Once that game starts tonight, yell and boo as loud as you can. And who knows, maybe they'll hear you at the Madison Square Garden.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios, polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
Prosser here. When I'm doing home improvements, I like to deal with a local company, and I found one for windows and doors, Cash Building Material. They've been doing business in Jacksonville for 70 years, and with their experienced window and door specialists, you'll get no subcontractors, no runaround, just their own experienced crews who treat your house like it's theirs. Get a quote today. Thank me tomorrow. For windows and doors, search Cash Building Material. Windows and doors done right.
In Jacksonville, we love our sports. You might say we flip out over them. Football, baseball, soccer, hockey, basketball, golf, and there's our outdoor game, fishing, surfing, and just chilling. There's so much to do, it will make your head spin. But keep your cap on because Visit Jacksonville has you covered. Check out visitjacksonville.com/locals or download the Visit Jax app and stay on the ball for all the upcoming sports events in Jax. Go local, go sports. Jacksonville, the flip side of Florida.
Preparation for the season begins now. 1010XL's coverage of this year's organized team activities is brought to you by Cash Building Material, Windows Done Right, and Dexafit Jacksonville. Know your body, transform your life.
Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building. So now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Maybe you have concerns about putting your home on the market and getting it sold. Well, let me alleviate those for you. There's a real quick solution. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold or they will buy it. Call 414-6200 or go to chadandsandy.com. You'll find out for yourself. Chad and Sandy, the local real estate experts I trust and recommend with the sale of your home or mine. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Anthony and Mary in Palmco said, we needed to sell our home to move closer to family, but low cash offers weren't cutting it. Since we'd only bought a year earlier, options felt limited, but not for Chad and Sandy. Call Chad and Sandy today, or log on to chadandsandy.com.
Now at Lowe's, faster quotes start at the Lowe's Pro Desk. Got a material list handwritten on a sticky note or saved as a photo? Perfect. Bring it to us and get a quote in minutes. And if you don't see what you need on the shelf, we'll help you get it. You can access thousands of products beyond what's available in store or on Lowe's.com, right from the Lowe's Pro Desk. Build quotes faster and source the materials you need to keep your jobs moving. Just like that, at Lowe's.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, We're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, after an off day yesterday, back at it tonight and tomorrow night. NBA tonight. Got to be a zoo around there with the president who's going to be in attendance. Certainly advanced security. Ticket prices already through the roof, but that'll be around 8:45 tonight when they actually tip. The Knicks stole a couple of games on the road. They're favored here, 1.5, total 216 and a hook. Knicks up 2-0 against San Antonio, who now is asked to win 4 out of 5, including 3 on the road. I actually think they can do it. I wouldn't bet on it. I wonder what the odds are overall. Actually, I can tell you what the odds are overall. 2 games into the series. I have that. Let me find it. It's like minus 440. I want to say for New York. God, Stacey King died too. That's just awful. Knicks are minus 440 to the dollar. Translation, you got to lay $440 to win 100. And if you put $100 on San Antonio right now, it's plus 345. So you would win your 100 back plus an additional $345. Man, I know I sound like a broken record, but every week we come in here and we talk about people that we have lost. Stacey King. He was so dominant at Oklahoma, and he was good. He was above average, with Chicago. He was never the dominant player he was for the Sooners, but he won 3 NBA championships and went on to be a longtime broadcaster in the city of Chicago, including, an analyst for the Chicago Bulls. When I saw this rolling yesterday, I was like, just stop. Enough is enough is enough. And I guess he fell, and that started everything else. I don't know if the final details are in, but love your people. We see too many of them leaving us. Speaking of which, it'll actually be 1 year for my dad tomorrow. So I can't believe it's been a year. I don't know if I'm in denial or what the situation is. I mean, I accepted it, but I just can't believe that it's been 1 year. I mean, that is crazy to me. And, I got some folks on here saying, Rick, sue me because I can't wait for this. That's the only reason why I have a problem with the expression, I can't wait for. It's the only reason, because I'm an everyday guy. I try to enjoy every single day. I did some wonderful things today, even though it was a Monday. Got some really good things scheduled for tomorrow. Camp. Going to visit, I hope, the Godfather gal and her husband, Barry, as he continues his fight through cancer. It's always a lot of fun to go by there and say hello to him. And I understand it's an expression, but to me, it's more than that, because I think there are legitimately millions and millions and millions of people who would give up the rest of this month and all of July, just give it up to get to football season. And that I can't understand, okay? And it's not because I'm older now. I've always felt that way. It's just my own personal opinion, okay? That expression right there, there's only one other expression that is worse than that. And that is when people say everything happens for a reason. That's BS. That's wrong. That's lazy, and it's wrong. There are so many tragedies that happen out there that are unexplained, that absolutely should not happen. Don't give me the everything happens for a reason. That just sucks as far as I'm concerned. 8446, how about a shot of scotch? I did a shot once, the worst taste ever to this day, and that was 30 years ago. Listen, scotch is fine if you have about a dozen beers in you. I'm not doing a shot of scotch as I'm sweating like a freaking pig. I was out there sweating like if, I don't know, let's say you told Rosie O'Donnell that she could only eat a salad. That's the way that I was sweating on the golf course. You think I'm going to mix it down, shoot it down with a scotch? Heck no. That's an indoor with a cigar. You know, you don't have to put that cube in there, too. I know a lot of you yuppies, you like that big fat cube that is perfect and everything. Try it neat. All right? An ice cold beer works. When I drink Irish whiskey, I like it room temperature and I like it neat. Try it. Peanut butter whiskey, 0041. I've had plenty of that peanut butter whiskey. It's a pretty good taste. Matter of fact, when I went back, when my mom passed 3 years ago, went back to Boston, and we were shopping around, getting some stuff, and I saw the bottle of peanut butter whiskey. It's kind of hidden. And where I'm from in Boston, you can't go into a convenience store and buy booze. You can only get it from what they call package stores. So I saw it. I'm like, let's bring this back. And at the time, you know, my sister, her oldest son, was at the U. Boy, we raised them well. My brother and I as Florida State grads. Her oldest went to the U. And the next up just graduated like last week from Tennessee. Now they have a senior in high school, and I think she's considering either Georgia or Clemson. But anyway, I brought a bottle back, and you should have seen these guys wolfing it down, everyone getting involved with it. By the end of the night, man, they were like jumping on one another on the couch and what have you. So, yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. And I guess that would be okay on a golf course. 2205, I promise that us teachers aren't rushing these days away. Well, yes, by all means. You folks are underpaid. You can at least, you deserve your time away. No doubt about it. None. Love teachers. I think teachers should be paid more. I think the police and firefighters should be paid more. I think people in the medical field should be paid more. Although there are times I think that whole damn thing's a racket. I do. I just think they send you from one doctor to another and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I do. I really believe that. But there's some really good doctors out there. 9567, Rick, younger listener here. And you've had a big impact on my life and perspective. And I remember when your dad passed a year ago, I just want to say how awesome you are. Well, I really appreciate that. I appreciate your perspective on life, not just on sport. Thank you. That's really good to hear from the younger generation. And that's what it's all about. It is. Don't wish your days away on the I can't wait for 9567. Enjoy this Monday. Get through it. Flex out on Tuesday. Tackle it. Take it on. Just go right after it on Tuesday. Dominate the day. Then all of a sudden it's hump day, right? It's midweek. You get to Wednesday night, everything is downhill the rest of the week into the weekend. I mean, what's there not to love about Jacksonville? Are you kidding me? I had a 2:48 tee time on Saturday, which allowed me to sleep in on Saturday, which I loved. And then the beach on Sunday, I don't think we left until 2. I woke up. I hope Dr. Shmunez isn't listening. But I woke up, passed out in my bar on my couch, and literally had to take a toothbrush to get my contacts out. I'm not eligible. I'm not a candidate for laser eye surgery. But again, you may be. And if so, all the power to you. All right, let's get ready for our second hour. Let's do that. I want to get to the Jags. And I want to get to the misconceptions that are being blabbermouths, okay, by gas bags across the country are saying a lot of things about the Jaguars, and they just don't get it. Okay? You know, that's kind of my pet peeve as well, is to, when in doubt, kind of get after the national media, because they just don't really, for the most part, have any idea what's going on. So I want to give you a couple of examples on that. The betting situation for Jacksonville has changed significantly. And I'm going to tell you why I think that's happened. I don't know that, but I'm going to give you my opinion as to why things have changed. And finally, the lack of respect continues when it comes to Trevor Lawrence and the quarterbacks. I want to get into that and also look at the mess around the league, which does include the 12 new combinations out of 32 teams this year with a head coach and a quarterback. Don't miss it. That's hour number 2.
Your work is unparalleled, and I'm a huge fan of the way you lose control and turn into an enormous green rage monster.
Mike Dempsey on Jaguars Today, every weekday from 10 to noon.
That's the best you can do!
On 1010XL.
Hacker here for Awaken 180 Weight Loss. You know, the summer is here. In fact, I'm out on a little vacation right now with my family, and that's one of the great things about Awaken 180 Weight Loss. I'll talk about the coaching you get on Awaken 180. You know, some weight loss programs, what do, right? They just send you some shots. They say, all right, work it out. They send you an appetite suppressant, some sort of pill. All right, you're on your own. Not Awaken 180. You talk with your coach. Like my coach, Kate, every time I was on vacation, every time I had a family get together, we worked up a plan. We worked up something for me to follow, and then I would get right back on the program when I returned from vacation. It's one of the great things about Awaken 180 Weight Loss, and it's why I lost over 100 pounds. It's the best weight loss program I was ever on. They know life happens, but they work with you, and it's great. Go to awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com, or call 844-346-1800. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Picking here for nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools have been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools, summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
ET here, and basketball and hockey are heating up. And the best place to catch every rivalry, every dunk and every goal, and every nail biter is at Twin Peaks, your ultimate sports lodge. Fuel your watch party with scratch-made favorites, legendary wings, and 29-degree draft beer that stays colder than the ringside. With wall-to-wall TVs, you're locked into the action from tip-off to the final buzzer. Bring your crew and rep your team. Make every game day a win. Only at Twin Peaks. Eat, drink, scenic views.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentist and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental. With light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
When is the World Cup and where will it be held?
For over 20 years, Southern Oak Insurance has given Floridians a better alternative to their current homeowners policy. See what you can get with Southern Oak. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The 2026 FIFA World Cup will be held in 16 different cities in Canada, Mexico, and here in the United States from June 11th through July 19th.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
This is Hayes Carlion for First Florida Credit Union. I went to the branch on 210 to get my car loan and had a fantastic experience. I got a great rate and was in and out. The online banking services are also outstanding. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards for 3 years running, and it's easy to see why. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
This summer, there's no better place to belong than the YMCA. Right now, if you join the Y, we'll waive the joining fee, and your 4th month is free. Start enjoying everything the Y has to offer today. Pools, group fitness, family events, youth programs, and a supportive community that's here for you. At the Y, it's more than a membership. It's a place to connect, grow, and thrive. There's no place like this place. Join the Y at fcymca.org and use code FREEMONTH.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, the Jaguars, they've gone from 9.5 to 8.5 as far as the total in most books, which if I'm a Jags fan, I absolutely love this. I mean, I am all over it. That is a dramatic difference. My first look, I had them going 10-7, same record as a year ago. Again, we'll do it right after camp, right after the 3 preseason games, when they get down to 53. And what really matters is obviously the pick the week of the game, right? But that's what we do. That's what every market does. You get the schedule, you get the dates, you go through the wins and the losses. And what really matters is, again, the week of the game. But 8.5 to 9.5. Also, to miss the playoffs is minus 125. Okay? I mean, there's more money right now on the Jaguars to miss the playoffs than to make the playoffs, which is plus 105. And, you know, typically we give you always the odds, the numbers. I actually have some percentages, which I'm going to get to in just a little bit. But the AFC South, Jacksonville, a sizable dog here, plus 230 to win the AFC South. The AFC plus 1,500. And the Super Bowl plus 3,000. A couple of notes here. In February, they were plus 2,200 to win the Super Bowl. You can make now 800 more bucks at plus 3,000. And again, in February, their total was 9.5. It is now 8.5. Now, I don't know this. I don't know it at all. But I think the reason why the line has moved and it's become more attractive to a Jaguars gambler because there's less risk and an opportunity for more reward, which is a good thing. But to me, it's because of 2 reasons. Number one, there's no question about it. It's that they have Houston in London. I think that may have moved this bad boy the entire one game, or at least half the game. I mean, when the 9.5 came out in February, I'm sure the odds makers knew that Jacksonville was only getting 6 home games this year. But when the schedule was released, they saw that they're getting Philly at home in London and they're getting Houston at home in London. I think that moved the needle. I honestly believe that. The second part, as to why I think the numbers have dipped, is when you listen to the national media, they're going to be the first that are going to tell you this football team did not add a starter. Every other team in the NFL, they'll say, has added at least one starter on offense or defense, except for the Jaguars. Chris Rodriguez had an opportunity. Chris Rodriguez right now is on the shelf. All right? It's only a matter of days, I believe, until we find out exactly what has happened and what the prognosis is. But for now, he is gone. Okay? And this becomes Bayshell Tootin scam. I do hope to talk with Tootin and LaQuint Allen Wednesday and Thursday, respectively. I believe that is going to work. I know that tomorrow, after the Jaguars' first mandatory minicamp, I'm going to talk with Emmanuel Pregnon. So that's coming up, and it'll be part of Tuesday night's show. I can't think of any other reason why they would move. Okay, but again, they are not informed here. this is a solid football team. This is a team that is getting healthier. This is a team that only had Travis Hunter for 7 games. This is a team which I think really the biggest question as far as injury is what's going on with Cole Van Lannon. And you need him to be your left tackle. It is a drop-off if you go to Walker Little. But they have gone out and certainly made that a major reason why it has moved an entire game, a huge move of one game. Okay, so now you get to the Jags, and there was one thing that I was reading. It was like 100 days until the start of the year. And this was on ESPN. And they listed all sorts of different stuff. And again, I got to the 10 MVP candidates. And for those of you who read this, it came from Seth Walder of ESPN. I'm sure it boiled your blood a little bit. But again, it's just the way that the national media, for the most part, thinks about this football team. Gives 10 MVP candidates. I'll give it to you in order. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Drake May, Justin Herbert. That's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight AFC quarterbacks. Everyone not mentioned Trevor Lawrence. Then it goes to Dak Prescott, Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow. Yet a 6th AFC quarterback, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy. So he's still not getting the respect that I believe he deserves. And I say that tongue-in-cheek because Trevor did not play well in the first half of the season. And you can't overlook that fact, okay? It was disappointing. And I say this quite a bit, but I think arguably the greatest move that Liam Cohen made all year was when he told Trevor Lawrence to no longer worry about making a mistake. Just go out there and let it rip. And it just felt like things went from, night to day after he made those comments. If you look at Trevor Lawrence last night, weeks 1 through 9, he was 173 for 293, 1,840 yards, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had a passer rating of 79.7. Think of that, 79.7 through 9 games. Then you look at week 10 through the wild card game against Buffalo. He goes 184 for 297, 2,374 yards, 23 touchdowns, 8 picks, and a passer rating of 101.6. So, the NFL to me has always been a couple of things. Number one, a copycat league. And number two, what have you done for me lately league? When you look at Trevor Lawrence, don't you consider what he did in the second half of the season? Apparently, that is not what we're getting from members of the national media. So I just wanted to share that with you. And, making a big deal over respect and stuff like that, I do believe that is overrated. And, I don't even really know if you out there as a Jaguars fan needs that. You need to be told, by members of the national media that Jacksonville is here and Jacksonville's on the come and Jacksonville's arrived. I think for the most part, from my understanding, from listening to you over the years, that, that is something that you're able to deal with regardless. All right, look at this. Same article, Jacksonville, 13-4. They're one of 5 teams that are listed here as the least improved teams. The Jags aren't going to collapse and be one of the teams, the league's worst teams, but expect to see some regression. Talks about no pass rush besides Allen. The Travis Hunter experiment will work better in 2026. Cole Van Lannon full-time, yada, yada, yada. Ventrell Miller drop-off from Devin Lloyd. So, that continues to be basically what they are saying. The other side of this, which I do find really intriguing, is it feels like there's a lot of people out there that want to see Travis Hunter fail. And I think it's not because they don't like him personally, even though I think the perception by many on him is dead wrong. I think a lot of people would describe him as maybe a diva and, a look at me type of guy. He's anything but that. I mean, he is legitimately down to earth, and he is a sensational teammate. If you go out there Wednesday, if you've registered, I know you can go to Jaguars.com and get all the information. But if you've ever watched Travis Hunter practice, what he does with his teammates, I don't think you can coach something like that. I think you're either born with it or not. It's that simple. And that's the way that he is. And once he develops into a team leader, the only way that that's going to happen on any NFL team is that you have to make plays. I mean, being a leader, you can be loud and vocal in high school and even in some circles in college. Doesn't work at the NFL level. You've got to be a player. Whether you want to be a leader or not, we've seen guys come through here don't want to be leaders, like Jalen Ramsey, right? Jalen Ramsey didn't listen to anything that was being said. He didn't listen to Calais Campbell. Him and Telvin and, a few others. Who's the cat? Rodney Harrison. Not Rodney Harrison. Who am I thinking of who was drafted here by the Jaguars and then ended up getting traded to Cleveland? Guys like that were, as a safety, they were in their own little world. They thought Campbell was old. They thought he was grandfatherly, if you will. So he came out and said, I don't want to be. Well, he is a leader. He was a leader because he's a great player. I think once Travis Hunter becomes a great player, that is where he is going to end up being a very important leader of this football team. But I think there are folks who have an agenda. And part of that is no one has ever really gone onto a long career being able to play both ways in the NFL. And they want to prove that they were right by saying that. I mean, look at all the misinformation about why Hunter got hurt a year ago. You just listen to someone on radio or you read something, they'll say, well, he couldn't deal with the rigors of the first year in the NFL, where you and I both know it was a freak accident. Okay? He hurt himself in a non-contact drill at practice at the Miller Electric Center. This guy wasn't carted off the football field because he got, upended or destroyed during the midst of a game. But you can say basically whatever you want. And, you're going to get away with it. I don't think there's any doubt about it. That's the very latest there. So anyway, Jags come in that situation as well as a team that they believe is going to end up being a disappointment this season when it's all said and done. All right, let's get some stuff from you. You've been pretty vocal here, at least on the message boards, stuff that you've been coming out with. So let's get to you, some of your feedback. 641-1010, the best way to join us tonight. That is on the text line. You can also get to us on YouTube. Let me check it. Oh, yeah, YouTube up and burning right now. You can join them. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
Planting roots on the First Coast.
Where it feels like home, I got everything I need.
1010XL.
Homegrown.
Overheard at the Hard Rock Bet Party.
I just got another NBA offer from Hard Rock Bet.
A Hard Rock Bet promo at the Hard Rock Bet Party? That is so meta.
That's not meta. That's Meta World Peace. Meta. Tell them about Hard Rock Bet.
Hard Rock Bet has it all. Live odds for every NBA game, every player prop, same game parlays, you name it. It's the only place I play these days.
Okay, now that is meta.
Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
When it comes to orthopedic care, experience matters, and teamwork matters even more. At Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville, our fellowship-trained specialists work together to treat a full range of conditions, from knees and shoulders to spine, sports injuries, and joint replacement. You'll be guided by the right specialist for your needs, with coordinated care and personalized treatment plans designed for better outcomes. Smarter care, faster access, trusted expertise. Orthopedic Specialists of Jacksonville.
The boys are back in the kitchen.
Don't start the barbecue without me.
Joe, Matt, and Leon give you plenty to chew on during lunchtime. Freshly baked bread from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Thank you for lunch, boys.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, it's Joe C. Have you heard about Club Wingstop? It's their loyalty program. You get 10 points for every single dollar you spend on those fire wings and sides. You can share points with the whole family or redeem them for free Wingstop. Not in the club? Well, just grab the app. Hit wingstop.com or scan the QR code at 1010xl.com/Wingstop. Takes 10 seconds. Points even last a full year, so you can cash in today's receipt later. Joe C is locked in. You need to be too. Wingstop, baby. Get in the club.
Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned First Coast business for nearly 20 years. Hurricane season is here. Don't wait for the first storm warning. The fence is your first line of defense. Loose boards, weak posts, or damage can turn into big problems when high winds come around. Armstrong Fence Company handles repairs and builds from stadiums to backyards. Get a pre-storm fence check today. Call Armstrong Fence Company or search online. Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Tired of wrestling with your shower curtain like it's a slip and slide gone wrong? Ditch the drama and say hello to a smooth, stylish glass shower enclosure from Baker Glass. Wago Glass is clean, elegant, and makes your bathroom look huge and brighter. Give your shower a makeover and feel like you're in a spa without the price tag. I'm Mac at Baker Glass. Call me and get ready to love your new shower. Let's make your shower great again. Remember, Baker Glass, no one treats you better.
Prosser here. Get those boats ready. The Dailies Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin is almost here. Coming up Saturday, June 13th. Just go to oldschoolkingfish.com to find out more. The grand prize, a 21-foot Yellowfin hybrid boat worth $130,000. And with limited boundaries, no live bait buying, and no checkout, it's seriously old school fishing. That's why we call it the Old School Kingfish Tournament. Here's how you do it. Go online, sign up. You become part of what's always a terrific tournament. It's Old School Kingfish Shootout. oldschoolkingfish.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I have a Diana Rossini update. That's coming in a few minutes, so don't go anywhere. Want to grab a few of your comments, however. The 8630. Oh, I'm jealous. Just sent me an image of a big box of cohibas. Cuban cohibas. I smuggled one back recently from the Dominican Republic, but they didn't last. Man, they're good. I don't know if I'm talented enough that if you gave me a Cuban cohiba compared to a regular cohiba, if I could tell the difference. But it feels different. It's like the image of it being a Cuban. And it's not like it's that much more bold or potent than other cigars. I just think it's simply that they're not allowed to be in the United States of America that really makes it attractive. That's my guess. Oh, he goes on to say, I got one for you. Thank you. Is this my buddy John? Oh, Jennifer from Hooters. I used to love Jennifer from Hooters. Happily married now. But back in the day when she worked there, and John, I think that's old Red Sox, John. Thank you. Appreciate that. 1729, Rick, about a vodka and me. Yeah. 1729. I'm stacking the pads right now. Like Jerry Cheevers. All right. I'm not going to let that one slide by. 66-60. For 40 grand, I go back to the Stanley Cup Finals of 1952 and watch the New Jersey Devils. Are they even around them when they first won the Stanley Cup and swept the Detroit Red Wings as massive underdogs? All right, maybe you're talking about 92, but wasn't 92? Wasn't that during Pittsburgh's great run? Didn't Pittsburgh win in 91 and in 92? Let me dig this up for you. They did. New Jersey won in 95, sweeping the Detroit Red Wings and Scotty Bowman. Jacques Lemaire and the infamous neutral zone trapping, which did set back the game. And it's no longer allowed. 1010 says, hey, Ballou, Travis is a work in progress running routes. Offense is better without force feeding him the ball. His big game in London was the garbage time. Rams are playing off him. CJ Wynn's probably more ready to run routes than Hunter. Steve Smith said he was far from a polished route runner a year ago with the injury. He could not possibly have improved. He will need to concentrate on defense. All very fair points. Travis Hunter has been so gifted athletically in high school and in college that he's been able to cheat on his routes. He's been able to break off routes because of his athleticism and his overall speed, able to get away with it, right? No one's going to argue that point. You have to be more precise in this league. And I would much rather be told that Travis Hunter needs to improve on his route running than he needs to improve on his hands or needs to improve on his physicality or needs to improve on his mental understanding of the offensive scheme. I think it's the one part of the game with really good coaching that he can change. So it's right there in front of Edgar Bennett. And again, he's going to work on defense as well. My guess is much more on defense this year on offense. CJ Williams, haven't seen a tremendous amount out of him early on. I'm really going to key in on the rookie wide receivers the next 3 days. Josh Cameron, who was on the side during rookie minicamp, has begun to make his way back as well. So is it as simple as the top 3 wide receivers, CJ Williams, Josh Cameron, 4 and 5, and then, plug in Hunter, and that's your wide receiving core? Going to be really interested to see what this football team does this year. Outside of 2 quarterbacks, do they keep 4 running backs? They only keep 3. I mean, does Rodriguez begin the year on the pup? Do they go with just Chutin and Allen Jr.? Can Amir Abdullah make this team? He's returned a ton of kicks in the league. I don't want Bayshell Tutin returning kicks this year if he's going to be the primary ball carrier. The youngster Jamari Taylor, undrafted out of Virginia, is taking complete advantage of things. But I will caution you on this. Running backs always look good in camp. They do. They always look good in camp. 60-65. What's going on with Joe McLeod? Haven't heard about him since he was drafted. Is he going to be anything? Well, I actually last week during our one session of media accessibility watched him quite a bit. And, I wasn't blown away on anything, but I do think that the physical part of his game is something that he is hopefully going to bring. He's lost in the whole injury situation with Caleb Ransaw, right? You can't go anywhere without Ransaw entering the conversation. With Jalen McLeod, I'm interested exactly how are they going to use this guy? Now, even my conversation last week with Antonio Johnson, he talked about multiple things that all these players can do. And I want to say it was Liam, either last week or the week prior to that, during a post-game press conference, during a post-practice press conference, went on to really discuss about what Antonio Johnson did a year ago. Played both safety positions, moved all around, played nickel, played dime. I mean, they really did some crazy things in their secondary last year. We know a lot of 3 safety sets. I think there's a real opportunity here for Jalen McLeod. I do. He was theirs. He was one of their draft picks. He's going to get every opportunity here. I don't see Yasir Abdullah really ever involved in anything that's noteworthy of team defense, right? I mean, it's Foye and it's Ventrell Miller. Then you got some young guns that they're high on, including Jack Kaiser. And, Dennis Gardeck is kind of situational. I think they have a better feeling based on what he did in the second half of the season compared to early on as how they're going to be able to use him this year. An off-the-ball linebacker, perhaps. Line of scrimmage, yes. Blitzing in situations, yes. Branson Combs is another guy that I've watched him, but I just don't really have a feel for. There's not a lot of players in this roster I don't have a feel for. Branson Combs would be one of them. I'm going to key in on McLeod as well this week. I'll have much more on him. Looking forward to it. 31-43. Why don't the Jags try to get Christian Wilkins? What's the story on him? Well, I mean, there's a bunch on him. I mean, the stuff coming out of Vegas and the Raiders was just incredible. And, depending on who you believe or what you believe, I just don't know if he fits into the category of the basics that this organization stresses, like the love of the game of football, like improving the ecosystem, right? Helping out the culture. He, that story about him kissing another player has legs and legs and legs and legs. I mean, there were other situations that did occur. But I'm sure they've done their homework on him. And, they just don't feel like, that is the direction that this football team needs to go. 92-77 says Larry Bird stole the ball. Yeah. So you're thinking what? Detroit? Or was that 89? When it looked like the emergence of the bad boys had officially arrived and Bird stole the ball. You know what's great about that play? Well, everything. But look at the hoop by DJ. Dennis Johnson takes it to the rack, and it's an unbelievable layup in a very difficult situation. Now, Johnny Most would stole the ball, as we know, came from John Havlicek back in the 60s. But Larry Bird stealing the ball would be a great one, too, if you were to go back in the time. Spend $40,000. The only reason why we're asking that is reportedly tonight's game in New York, scalpers are getting in the neighborhood of $40,000, $45,000, $50,000 for one ticket. I mean, think about that for a moment. I'll never complain about spending money on entertainment. I don't have a problem with it. But $40,000 in the NBA Finals? Hell no. No way. I mean, how many people out there can comfortably say, and say it is one thing, but mean it, that you'd spend $40,000 to see the Jaguars in the Super Bowl for one ticket? There's some of you out there that would, you've made it, you've got cash. Sure, I'm not talking about $40,000 where you get a suite and, you're up there with family and, 10, 12 individuals. I'm talking about $40,000 for one ticket. To me, it's just no way. I can't think of anything that justifies paying that amount of money. Maybe you disagree. All right, much more to do. Hacker Nation's going to join you at 8 o'clock. Again, this is a huge week. This really is one of the great weeks of the summer because beginning tomorrow and then Wednesday and Thursday, we have 3 straight Jaguars practices, mandatory minicamp live from the Miller Electric Center Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
You'll still hear Frank Monday through Thursday. Now Fridays feature The Lead with Hayes Carline and Ryan O'Haller 4 to 6 on 1010XL.
Northeast Florida isn't just where we work, it's our home. I'm Chris Campione, and when an accident turns your life upside down, you need a law firm that truly understands this community. At Campione Law, we treat our clients like neighbors, not case numbers, and you don't pay a dime unless we recover for you. From semi-truck accidents to medical malpractice and even workers' compensation, we handle it all. Visit CampionLaw.com. Offices Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campion, Campion Law.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
If someone you love needs a pick-me-up, then it's time to get serious about it and send them a Kuhn floral arrangement. JJ here with SentinXL. You'll be assured of a quality delivery, that's for sure. Log on and order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
Summer break means the kids are home and your plumbing is working overtime. If something's acting up and backing up, call Duck Duck Rooter. We've got years of experience and honest pricing that's as straightforward as our fixes. With the Summer Splash Plumbing promotion, receive 1 free drain cleaning with any plumbing repair of $500 or more. Fix what's wrong, clear what's clogged, and get back to enjoying your summer.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
First Tee North Florida's Summer Soiree returns Thursday, June 11th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Yards. This year's theme is Stars, Stripes, and Summer Nights. Bring the whole family for live music, games, raffles, activities for all ages, and great food. One food voucher included with every ticket, provided by Taco Lou. Adult tickets are $30, kids 5 to 17 are $20, and kids under 5 are free. Upgrade to VIP for $60 with beer, wine, and liquor included. Get tickets now at firstteenorthflorida.org/events.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, we talked about it earlier in the show. There's no question about it. The biggest story in sports is that Brendan Sorsby has been granted a temporary injunction against the NCAA. He'll get a 2-game suspension, but today a judge, a Lubbock, Texas judge by the name of Ken Curry, went on pretty expressive as to why he's allowing him to play. He's going to miss Abilene Christian and Oregon State. He'll be eligible for Big 12 football. And again, I think that Brendan Sorsby and Texas Tech, they really have a chance to go on the type of run that Indiana went on a year ago. Most in college football, including coaches, former players, whatever it may be, are really upset about this. And I get it. To me, I'm going to go the other way. And I like it. And the reason why I like it is we might as well just have at it, right? Everything that can possibly go wrong, everything that can be incredibly questionable about this sport, let's go. So they can change it for the better. Right? I think it has to get so bad, and it has. I mean, does anyone like today's college football outside of Indiana more than what you were born and raised with? I mean, even programs around here that have had success. Miami just went to a natty. Georgia's got a great program. Do people like today's game? I don't think there's many that are out there. 3,800 says, Rick, if the Jaguars Super Bowl ticket cost me 40 and I had 45,000 in my account, I'm 100% going. I'm going to take it. You are either A, single, or B, divorced. But I love the answer. I do. That is a massive spend. $40,000 is a lot of money. And I don't know if a lot of people out there, except for the incredibly wealthy, would be willing to spend that amount of cash. All right. Hey, let me give you this real quick on Diana Rossini. This is interesting stuff. And, you know, it seems as though things have been subdued just a little bit as far as what's going on. On top of the fact that, you know, the New York Times came out, a comment from the New York Times came out today that said that they are still weeks away from the completion of their investigation. Well, here's what I'm wondering. Why? She's no longer there. If you're terminated, or in this case, her resignation, but if you're up and gone, why are they continuously investigating what happened? And unless it's financial and the way that the contract reads, I'm under the assumption that if you resign, that's it. You're not getting paid anymore. I don't know what is in the contract. Contracts are different all over the place. But if you're no longer part of the New York Times owns The Athletic, who she worked for, why do you have to complete this investigation? That part I don't get. Maybe you can help me on that. If so, 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Get on YouTube. Just go there, 1010XL into the night. But anyway, here's the latest. This guy, Tony Farmer's been all over the place. I mean, he is just the closest thing to a creep when it comes to Diana Rossini. But I don't know why I find myself reading about it anyway. He goes on to talk about how Diana Rossini told a sports bettor 2 days before the NFL announced who the MVP was going to do, who in fact she voted for. And during the conversation, you can take out of it what you want. Did she say this person won, that person won? I don't know the answer to that question. She said who she voted for. I've been a long-time Heisman Trophy voter. I am absolutely forbidden to talk about the Heisman Trophy and talk about who I have voted for until after the announcement. All right? And I respect that. And if you've listened to me for years, I appreciate it. You've never heard me come out and say, well, I like this guy to win the Heisman. I like that guy to do that. I just don't do it. I just avoid it. Diana Rossini, if she's telling some guy, a bettor, okay, and I read, I followed the comments and this and that, and I read that once the picks, once the voting took place, the MVP award was taken down. You could get it in during that time period, but once the votes were final, you could no longer wager on the NFL MVP. Okay. If that is the case, and I don't know if it is, fine. But come on. There's so many ways to get away from the norm. Whether you go to a local pool hall or you go out after one of the, out to one of the docks, someone running a book, someone old school, or I'm sure offshore or whatever it is, I'm sure that if you work hard enough, you can find a place that is willing to take your bet. And you have inside information from one of the 50 voters when it came to the NFL MVP. Again, it's just more and more dirt up on her. And I don't know if she's ever going to be able to fully move on from this. But again, one of the biggest parts that I have is you got to be kidding me. What what are they going to gain actually by doing this? And what are they going to say? She no longer works for the company. Let's see. Ballou, that was one of the most entertaining hockey games I've ever seen. Sloppy play on both sides. I guess that's what happens when the best play the best. A lot of turnovers in this game. And I'm shocked by the 25 goals. It's the most in like decades that have happened in the first 3 games of this series. I remember when I talked about the start of the Stanley Cup playoffs, I thought it was going to be a very low-scoring series. These are 2 very good defensive teams. You look at Carolina and how layered they are and how they almost allow, no free ice. And the same thing with what has happened here with Las Vegas since the ignition switch has gone on. Now, all of a sudden, you have a goaltender controversy in Carolina. You're getting goals from all over the place. 25 goals. I mean, I don't mind a 2-1 hockey game. To me, that's enjoyable. I know that in football and in basketball, I don't mind a 2-1 baseball game. I don't. Do you want to see it every day? No. But also when it appears that the goaltenders are nowhere near where they're supposed to be, and you have turnover after turnover, and it becomes, all about these snipers scoring from everywhere on the ice, I'm not a huge fan of that style of game as well. Let me look here. I bet before I head to this break, I'm going to guess that it's going to be. God, my computer's going helter-skelter on me. I'm going to guess it's going to be 5.5 again as the total for tomorrow night's game 4 here between Carolina and, well, they don't even have it listed here. They just have Carolina minus 115, Vegas minus 105. I'm assuming it's going to stick at minus 5.5 as far as the total over and under. It's been a remarkable series, though. No doubt about that. That'll be tomorrow night with the Hurricanes and the Golden Knights. Of course, tonight, and my goodness, what a disaster it must be right now at Madison Square Garden. We have it at, 7:42. So it's listed at 8:30 on ABC, but typically they tip off like around 7:44 somewhere, or 8:44, 8:45, somewhere in that neighborhood. But with the president being there, they have totally, changed the way the approach of this game is, with my understanding, just a huge amount of security. I think they've actually changed things as well as far as your, entrance into the stadium. What I hate about AI is you read things today. You don't know if it's true. You don't know if it's true. I was sitting on the beach yesterday with my GF and talking about the passing of Stacey King. And we talked about the passing of Ned Jarrett. And then I had seen that a famous actress had passed. And I was like, but I'm not sure if it's true because you don't know. I mean, why do people do that? You have nothing better to do than just throw out completely false stories. And, it drives you nuts because you think it's the truth. And that's why I don't care what it is that I see on my phone when I'm doing a show. If something pops in that's significant like that, I'm not going to mention it until the next break, until I know for sure, or if we can double up and find out if, in fact, that is the case. But there's just a lot of people out there that enjoy doing stuff like that. I just can't figure it out. But anyway, I read that you can't bring bags in or any of that type of stuff. Again, I don't know if it's true. We'll see. What I can tell you is New York's favored by 1.5. You know, let me add this before the break. I really think San Antonio can win 4 out of the next 5. That's a tough putt. You got to win 3 in New York, including tonight. I do. Okay? I also wouldn't be shocked if I came back in here tomorrow and the Knicks were up 3-0. Boy, that was genius. Way to go to both sides. That reminds me of a buddy I used to work with in Chicago who went on and on and on and on, telling me how he liked the Giants. The Giants are going to win because the Giants are going to do this. And then at the very end, he said, unless Dallas scores more points, then I like the Cowboys.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Ballou here for Smunez Vision. Why Smunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smunez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmunezVision.com today. Here you can see.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
My name is Savannah, and I was looking for a way to track my fitness results in a tangible way. I chose DexaFit Jacksonville because I wanted real, measurable results. After one quick DEXA scan, I knew my exact body fat, muscle mass, visceral fat, and even bone density. No guessing, just data. It gave me a clear baseline so I can now set my goals and track my progress with a lot of confidence. If you want real insight into your body, I highly recommend DexaFit Jacksonville. Book your scan today at jacksonville.dexafit.com.
Hear the unmistakable sound of legendary guitarist and vocalist Tom Kiefer of Cinderella. Friday, June 12th at Florida Theater. Tom Kiefer of Cinderella. With special guest, LA Guns. Hear all the hits. Get tickets now at the Florida Theater box office and floridatheater.com. Produced by Elko Concerts Florida Theater.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks. If you love your dad or husband, but their garage is a mess, I've got good news for you. Closets by Design's Father's Day sale is here. Imagine custom cabinets for tools and beach gear, storage walls that actually organize the chaos, and durable new garage flooring that makes the whole space feel brand new. It's the perfect gift for just about any dad. Right now, get 40% off plus an extra 15% off plus free installation. Stop by their showroom on Phillips Highway to see the possibilities for yourself. Or online, closetsbydesign.com.
Summer is finally here, and it's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the summer. Hicken here. Don't let rising gas prices stop you from having a clean and healthy home. Zero Res is keeping comfortable affordable with a powerful cleaning at a price families can feel good about. Zero Res can handle every surface in your home. Carpets, tile, grout, hardwood, laminate, upholstery, rugs, air ducts, and more. Take 25% off all services except air duct cleaning. That's $5.99 per system for air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Ask for the 1010XL special.
Whether you're undertaking a major home renovation or just a simple repair request, American Electrical is your 5-star Jacksonville-based electrician to get the work done right. Experienced design building department working seamlessly with their electrical contracting department to help you create beautiful lighting spaces and electrical plans that make your house flow. And remember, with American Electrical, it's wired right at a fair price. Call American Electric at 737-7770. Look for that red, white, and blue eagle on the side of their truck, and you'll know it's American Electrical.
Hey friends, Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Have you ever stored a gallon of leftover paint, opened the can years later, and it's rusty, crusty, and unusable? Next time, secure the lid tightly to ensure no leaks and store the can upside down. Oxygen can't get to it, therefore no rust and no crust. If you'd like more tips or have a question about a project, we'd love to help. Go to performance-painting.com. Performance Painting. Repair, protect, preserve.
Performance painting.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Out on YouTube, 1010XL Into the Night. Let's see here. Robert Lemison says, if I was a ticket holder, I'd sell it. Would you? Hell yeah, I would. Well, first off, I would never be a New York Knicks season ticket holder, but I would sell it. Now, you know, if the Knowles were in the national title, or the Jaguars were playing in the Super Bowl, or the Boston Bruins, that's different if it hits the heart. But still, $40,000, man, that is just a ton of cash. All right, what do you got over there, JJ? You giving stuff away once again.
Yes, I'm feeling very charitable today. I have a pair of voucher tickets to the Jumbo Shrimp. These can be used at any home game this season. The Shrimp are at home against Gwinnett in a 6-game series this week. So be car number 4 right now at 641-1010.
You know, I collect baseball, hockey cards, and I've been just putting together a stack of rookies. And it's amazing the amount of people who have played here over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Who went on to make it big.
And, yeah.
Just incredible.
Clayton
The
Kershaw.
names. Randy Johnson.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, there's a great story that Pedro Bragan talks about Randy Johnson after game walking over the Main Street Bridge, which I can't explain. I let him do it. But I was just guys like Delino DeShields. I mean, just so many players.
Love Delino DeShields.
Yeah. And so anyway, that's the latest there. 641-1010, and you get to talk with JJ.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
40 grand is basically what they're saying right now to get into tonight's game between the Knicks and the Spurs.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Even if you have the means, that is crazy to think what you could do with $40,000 and you're spending it to go to the Garden and they might lose, right? Imagine spending that money and they lose.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're out 40 grand, you know, with a loss. You rekindled memory lane for me when talking about the great players that have been through here for minor league ball. Boy, this was 2002 or 2003. We were doing a remote. It was right when I first started, and the Carolina Mudcats were in town. And they had this pitcher and this, I guess he was an infielder at the time. Yeah, infielder, he had to be. And like the Carolina media was like, hey, wait till you see these two guys. The pitcher was named Dontrell Willis, and the field player was a guy named Miguel Cabrera.
Wow.
For the Carolina Mudcats. And then obviously Dontrell Willis went on to be a big part of the Marlins winning the World Series, and Miguel Cabrera is going to the Hall of Fame someday.
There's no doubt. I think he's the last player to get 3,000 career hits. It was either him or Adrian Beltre. I think it was Cabrera. By the way, Freddie Freeman, 2 hits away from 2,500. He better not have a lockout because I think he's got a chance at 100 more hits this year. He could wrap up the year at 2,600. He doesn't need a lockout because you'd like to see him get 3,000 hits. All right. Well, you got tonight, but how about the next 3 days over at the Miller Electric Center?
Yeah, looking forward to a Jaguar minicamp. We're going to do a lot of Jaguar minicamp talk tonight. I got both Dave Campo and Mark Duffner are going to join me, kind of give a coaching perspective of what the coaches will be looking for during minicamp tomorrow. And, yeah, it should be a lot of fun. The fans get to come out on Wednesday. Hard to believe after these 3 days they have one more week of OTAs. And then that's it until training camp at the beginning or the end of next month.
Yeah. It's going to be here before you know it, though. I mean, it's scary to me that we have these 3, and that's it, a small little break. And before you know it, we'll be out there for training camp. And the good thing will be, apparently, we're going to get to see them practice twice against Carolina and Tampa. That's going to be cool.
Yeah, no, it'll be great. Anytime there's joint practices. The last couple of years, the joint practices haven't been here, but now they are coming back. A couple of them, actually. That'll be a lot of fun during training camp.
Have a lot of fun tonight, Hacker.
Thanks, Rick.
And I'll see you early in the morning. No question about it. Do we have a winner yet on our...
We do. Congrats to Fred.
Fred! All right. There you go. You get to go to the Jumbo Shrimp. What a great time that always is. Great stadium and always a whole heck of a lot of fun. So just to remind you, these next 3 days are going to be it. I mean, it's all about it. And Miller Electric Center, first thing in the morning, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I know I do have scheduled for tomorrow night after the program, Emmanuel Pregnon. And as well, I am going to talk with Ryan O'Halloran. That'll be part of the program on Tuesday. Okay. I do want to tell you as well, they're right here on Into the Night with Rick Ballou. DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Florida. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Florida. So whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you are in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app right here in Florida. The world's biggest stage is in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code 1010XL, spend $5 and get $200 in total rewards. That's code 1010XL. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click to claim, issued in non-withdrawable. Predictions. Dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms. DKNG.co/predictions. Promo. Good luck to you. That's going to do it. Thank you to JJ LaSelva. I am Rick Ballou again. Fired up for tonight and the game. Fired up for tomorrow. And the Jaguars practice minicamp, mandatory, over at the Miller Electric Center. That'll be tomorrow. I'll talk with you on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Have a great night and enjoy the game. This is 92.5 FM, the home of the Jaguars.
The plot begins to thicken. Now, I can't be specific.